Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they allow fear to stop them. Welcome to Building Wealth with Marco Esquivel. So now I'm going to talk about the mindset in leadership. Okay, so it does require, when you're shifting into a leadership role or the mindset of leaders, it comes into a situation where you really have to understand strategic thinking. You really have to understand, what moves people. All right, so, a lot of times people, when they get into leadership, they fear failure. But you got to switch that mindset. You got to actually use that fear to help motivate you. Okay, you got to push yourself to a level that you will succeed. Because a lot of times when you have setbacks, it's just learning. Okay, you learn through the process. And that is part of leadership. Okay, that's part of a mindset that you have to have. Okay, so that is something that I really believe that leaders need to have. And you have, because you're going to have so many different situations that you're going to go through. The different traits that people have, in leadership styles, and you can go Google that and find a definition. But the reality is that you have to be able to adjust to situations. You have to be able to adjust to what is happening at that moment, as well as think ahead of what's going to happen 2, 3, 4 steps beyond that moment. What's going to happen, and have that ability to anticipate. Okay, so that's a big part of the mindset of leadership. One of the other things I want to make sure that people also understand is passion. What drives you? Okay, to be a successful leader, you have to believe in what you're doing. Because if not, you're just a shell of who you are. You have to have that passion, and that has to lead you. People always say, make sure you do something that you love. Don't just show up and punch the 9 to 5, clock. You actually have to have that passion. Well, that goes with leadership. You have to be, you have to have the ability to lead people. And if you are not passionate about what you're doing, you're going to have a hard time leading folks to the goal that you're trying to achieve. Okay, so that's another part of the mindset of leadership. And I had a conversation the other day, actually last night, with a young man, young leader. And we were talking about, he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go into a dinner with some of the top leaders. I said, just remember this. The best leaders in the world are eclectic style leaders. That means they can adapt to situations. They can adapt to the environment. There's times when you have to take control and, be that more autocratic guy that gives people answers and let's go. And then there's times where you can read the room, listen to different opinions, things like that. That's leadership. Okay, but at the end of the day, when you have a group of people that you're leading, it has to be about them. It cannot be about you. The best leaders lead their people by serving. Okay, you want to make sure that you are serving your team, serving the people that you're responsible for, especially when you're responsible for their future. Okay, so that is a big part of leadership. I think a lot of times that is one of the things that is missed in leadership, is they tend to forget about serving their team, serving the people they're responsible for. It's not about you getting to the top, because you're not going to get to the top without them, without your team. So you want to serve your team, so you go to the top together, and making sure that everybody has a role, everybody is succeeding, everybody is having wins, and when things get tough, that's okay, because you're learning together. You make changes, you adjust, you pivot. whatever it requires. I don't care if it's real estate, finance, or anything else you do. Okay, so that is something I want to leave you with. The mindset of a leader has to first start with serving. You want to make sure that you can adjust to situations. You're flexible. Take command of the room, take command of your responsibilities. Lead from the front. A lot of times leaders, get a little nervous and they allow fear to set in. But those are some things that I want to make sure I leave you with, because the mindset of a leader is not titles. Nobody follows titles. It's how you treat people. It's how you serve your team. So make sure you take that take that to heart, because if you want to be successful in life and you want to lead people, that's what it's going to take.